All right. Welcome everyone and everyone at home. Let's move our fleshy tissue, connect with our sit bones, sit up really nice and tall, close your eyes, and move away from the exterior world out there and into the internal world. Sense and feel your body. I guess I can take my mask off now. Take a scan. Take a scan of your body and see what you're feeling today. Connect with your breath. And then connect with your mind. I'm reading that Jay Shetty book. He was a monk and he talks a lot about monkey mind. So let's do just part one of our centering exercise where we take our hands to the outside of our ears. And I kind of, visualize almost this cartoon with all these bubbles coming out of my head and all these thoughts going on. And then I'm going to take those thoughts and I'm just going to compress them and draw them down to my heart. So let's do that. Take the hands out in front and draw those thoughts down to the heart and that energy. And then we'll do it 2 more times. Pause here, fingers together, thumb together, to actually feel the energy. Your brain radiates about 6 feet away from your heart, about 20 feet away from your body. So it radiates energy. So can you tap into that? Can you feel that? Or just visualize those thoughts. And then you just take all those thoughts, scramble them into a little alphabet soup and take them down to your heart. The heart decides what is pertinent, what's important. And one more time, 3rd time. Leave your hands at your heart, reminding you to lift the breastbone. Think of 3 things that you're grateful for. Last week in class, I was asking everybody to think about something personal. So let's do that again. Let's think of something about your own life. Last week I asked for something physical, but this week, just something personal, 3 personal things that you're grateful for. And then when you're ready, slowly drop your hands. And slowly open your eyes. Oops. And oh, Kathy got bounced out. All right, now hopefully she's back. I don't know, how's everybody feeling today? You feel okay? Anybody good? All right, let's start. How do we want to start? Let's start, I have choices, you see, lying down on the floor. Grab your strap and take your strap. You're going to put the strap around your ankles, like about here. And so you want it to be, though, your strap about hip width apart, because we want our hips, our knees, and our ankles all to be in alignment as we lie down. So here I go. You can always have something soft underneath your head if you are worried about your brain not quieting. So you're going to take the strap down onto the lower legs. You're going to again, like I said, you're going to want it. And you know, my seniors use some of the straps today. So I hope that they're not all screwed up. Okay. All right, so you're going to come to line. I mean, most of you have your own strap, right? So come to lying down, have your feet about hip width apart. So yeah, mine's all screwed up. So you want to push out into your legs. Have your heels as close to your body as possible, so bent knees. So as if you were going to do bridge pose. So you're going to put your feet into the bridge. Push your feet down to go up into bridge, but then you're not going to do it. You're just going to be in that place. And you're going to push out into your hips or push out into your feet. For 2 to 3 seconds, and then you're going to release and let go. And then do it again. Push out into the strap. I've actually got mine a little bit too high. I want it kind of just above the ankle at the side of the calf. And then let go. And then push out again. Pushing your thighs out so the action is coming from the thighs. Good, and then let go. Let's do it one more time. Push out. Hold for 2 or 3 seconds. And then release. Now, without letting the belt come off, extend your legs out into lying down Tadasana. So you're pushing through the balls of the foot and the heels. Your toes are pointing towards your face. You know, I want you to really feel that point flex. So you're pushing through the ball of the toes, and you're pushing through the heel. And then you're trying to, again, separate your legs, but the strap is preventing you from going any further. Good. And then we're going to release that, take the strap off our feet for now. And you're going to grab your block and put your block at the knee. So decide how wide you need your block, because again, we want ankle and knees and feet in alignment. So ankle, knees, and hips, sorry. That didn't make sense. Okay, so if I want my hips, my knees to stay a little wider and underneath my ankles, I might have to take my block on the wider part. Okay, walk the feet in again, fairly close to the buttocks. Now we're going to do the same thing, but this is opposite. We're going to squeeze the block for 2 to 3 seconds. And then release. And when you release, this is really good for anybody who has SI joint or low back issues. So release through the hips, release through the back, just let everything relax. And then we'll squeeze again. Squeeze the block. You're squeezing the blocks with your knees. The action is from the legs. And then relax. Sometimes when I ask people to do this, they actually engage the hip, but this is just from the legs. All right, so we released again. Now squeeze the block again. And relax. And we'll do it one more time. Squeeze. And release. Okay, now walk your feet out, keeping your block between your knees. Push through the balls of the feet and the heels. Inhale, lift your arms up over your head. And when you lift your arms up over your head, do not let your body change. Do not lift the rib cage up. Just extend your arms over your head as far as you can. If you have shoulder issues, just go whatever feels good. Both arms equal though. Push through the ball of the foot and the heels. Toes should be pointing towards your face. Lift the abdomen up. So what I was teaching a lot last week was how the abdomen has to be involved in our standing poses and our forward bends. And then exhale and release. Bring the hands down to your sides. Good. Take the block out. I want you to take your feet about the width of your yoga mat. Okay. And we're going to do some very slow windshield wipers. So you're going to let your knees drop to the side. Make sure you complete the action. So in other words, this is not fast. And you're going to the left and the right. And just do that several times for me. And again, like this is an opportunity to sort of see, well, what am I feeling with my legs this wide in my lower back? We want this length. And we're trying to put space in between not only the vertebrae in the back, but in the joint of the SI joint. So the sacrum hip joint. Okay, and then come back to center. And again, now you kind of know where your ankles, knees, and hips need to be. So again, we're doing pushing the feet into the floor. So line yourself up. And again, have your heels as close to your buttocks as possible. And we're going to inhale and lift your arms up over your head. Teresa, bring your feet in a little closer to each other. So your hips are not that wide. And then exhale and bring your arms back down. And then inhale and bring your arms up over again. And again, lift the belly as you go. Exhale, draw your hands down. And inhale, lift your arms up and over again. This time, hold there. Turn your palms towards each other. Take the thumbs down towards the ground. If you can, if you can't, just do. So palms are facing each other. Thumbs are down towards the ground if you can. And then keeping that action, slowly drag your heels along your yoga mat to the end of your mat so that you are going to be straightening your legs. If you have a very rubbery mat, I know that's hard to do. Try to take both legs at the same time. Equally drag your heels forward until you are extending. Flex the feet so that the toes are coming up towards your extended arms, and then point the toes again. Point and point the whole foot now. So you're going to point the foot, point your toes. I don't know, I'm trying to think of a different way to say that. Point your toes. Yeah. Okay, so the heels come closer. So now you're not in point flex anymore. You're in that traditional, pretend you're a ballerina and you're going to point your toes, everybody. Yeah, point your toes out. Yeah. And I want you to observe how that feels at the bottom of your, or at the back of your body, how it feels through your spine. And then switch again to flexing. So now bring your toes towards your face and your heels and find that point flex, point through the, yeah. So now you're flexing your foot, dorsiflexion, the ankle is flexed, and now point again. And what I'm saying is observe what is happening. Good. And then exhale and release, and just relax for a second. Bring your hands back down as you exhale. Good. And you're going to bring your right knee into your chest. So grab your right knee, bring it in towards your chest. If for some reason you can't reach comfortably, then you can always use a strap. And again, I'd like you to push point and then flex your foot. So play with that foot, the up foot. You could do both if you want. It's a two-fer that way, right? Get two for the price of one. Point and flex the foot. This is actually like a little bit of a neural glide is what they call it. So it's same as what we were doing in the for the shoulder, but this is for the hip last week or the week before. Okay. Good. Now you're going to change your hands from being on the outside of the thigh to being on the inside of the thigh. And you're going to push your knee is bent, and you're going to very slowly, you're going to flex your top foot, and you're going to push your hands forward and your leg back. So you see, I'm slowly working this. I don't want to just whoops, go like that. No, I want to be pushing my hands into my thigh, slowly straighten the leg. It's a point flex, so that means that the ball of the foot and the heel is up, toes are pointing down, and you're pushing your right sit bone or your right hip to that left foot. There's a little bit of a, rotation, let's say. I'm going to say a rotation. All right, so now, okay, I'm going to backtrack here. So straighten the leg now as much as you can. Straighten the leg as much as you can, pushing into the back of the leg. You can go at the belly of the hamstring and try to push your leg really straight up towards the ceiling. Okay, then slowly release and bring the leg back down. Okay, and then extend both legs out so that you feel that length in the body again. Point and flex your feet. And then bring the other leg up. So now you're bringing your left leg up, hug your knee into your chest. As soon as we bring our leg up, that was the lesson of last week that I think I don't know, what did we do on Monday night? Can't remember. It was kind of restorative, that's right. So we kind of missed that whole thing, didn't we? Okay, that explains everything. So, okay, so when you lift your left leg up, you shorten the left side often. So take your right sit bone and draw it away from your head. Sorry, your left sit bone, the sit bone that you've got the leg up. Draw your left sit bone and draw it away so that you're trying to bring the hip away from your head. Do you get that one? So yeah, do that. Good. Now switch your hands to the outside of the leg. And I want this to go really slow. I want to push my hands forward, slowly extend the leg. I mean, of course, if your leg's really open, you might not find this challenging at all, but you're holding the leg in place and then you are lifting up the leg towards the ceiling. Oh man, right? Anybody feel a little tightness in the hamstring? Okay, so how are your left and right side? Because the left side should be drawing, for most of us, it'll be shorter and we want to lengthen it. So we want to lengthen that left side by drawing our left sit bone towards the right foot. Okay, good. And then exhale and slowly release, extend the leg out. And here we go. Okay, so now we need our straps. And we're going to put the strap on the right foot, lie back down. We're going to hold the strap with our left hand. You got your strap in the right, on the right foot, right? And you know, whether you put it on the heel, the ball of the foot, doesn't really matter. Take your right hand and put it in the crease right in here. This is that, you know, in the crease of your hip, and push it, your right hip towards the end of your yoga mat. Okay, so you've got your right leg up, you've got your right hand in the crease, you got it deep in there, and you're pushing your hip away from you, in your thigh, your hip, that inner crease, you're pushing it towards the end of your yoga mat. Now, really activate the quad of that leg so that the hamstring will open, and draw your leg a little closer to your head. So challenge yourself a little bit. We tend to get kind of stuck in this pose where we're doing the same thing all the time, but we want to challenge ourselves a little bit. So see what happens when you bring your foot a little bit closer in towards your head without compromising the pelvis. Your hand is pushing down into that crease. Okay, now take your strap in your right hand and you're going to bring the leg a little bit out to the right. And I'm saying a little bit because the pelvis must not move. So the minute you feel lightness in your left side, then you've gone too far. No lightness in the left side of the sacrum. This is about the lower back today and our twists. And so as soon as my left side leaves the floor, I know I've gone too far. This is not what it's about today. Okay, now bring the leg back to center, externally rotate it. So you're going to take your, and this happens from the hip, take that upper thigh and rotate it out so that your toe is pointing on an angle. Your toes are pointing out towards past your ear, your right shoulder. Now the leg, and then see if you can bring the leg a little bit closer in towards your body in this external rotation. Again, that thigh, the right thigh is pushing back. You don't have your hand there right now, but it's still pushing back, right? Towards the end of your yoga mat. Now take your left hand into the strap, bring your right hand to the floor, and take your leg, internally rotate it. So now the toes are coming towards your left ear, and the leg is internally rotated, and take it slightly over the midline. I'm not trying to go all the way, just over the other leg a little bit, just over the midline. Push through the heel of that foot. You might feel gluteus. You might feel IT band. You might feel inner groin. There's all kinds of options here. Good. And then come back. Take the leg back to neutral and then slowly release the leg down to the floor. Okay, so now we're going to change to our left side. We're going to put our strap on the left foot. We're going to hold the strap with our right hand so we can grab that crease, and our thumb is in that crease, and we're pushing the whole leg and the hip towards the end of your yoga mat. Take a check to see, are both sides of your body, both sides of your waist equally long, or have you shortened one? If you have a bent knee, see, can you straighten the leg even more by activating that quad, by pushing through the heel and straightening the leg? Good. Now you're going to take the leg. So you want your strap in your left hand. You're going to take the leg out to the left. But remember, we are pushing through the right foot. We're pushing, and we're not letting any ease up on the right hip. The right hip is pushing down towards the floor. The right sacrum, I'm not lifting that part of my pelvis off. In fact, I'm grounding it to get more opening in the left side. Okay, so the minute you feel that your right side is lifting now, as you go out to the left, you must come back and try again. It's control. We want control of our body, control of the mind. We'd like some control over our life, but that seems to be missing these days. All right. And then slowly come on back. Okay, we're going to externally rotate the leg and rotate it from the thigh or from the hip. You want to go way up here and you want to take that leg out so your toes are pointing outward. And you bring the foot closer to your head. It feels different than when you have your leg internally rotated or just neutral. Okay, now come back to center. Take your strap in your right hand, internally rotate the leg. So turn your toes towards your right shoulder. And then make sure that left hip is away from you, not rolling it up, and take the leg over to the right. And this side is much more intense for me, and I'm left-handed, so that's probably why. All right, and then back to center, and slowly, with control, allow the leg to come down. Now, we're going to take both knees, hug them into our chest. Hug them into your chest, hold them. Make a connection between your abdomen and your thighs, which will release the psoas down into the hips or into the buttocks. Good. And then exhale and release. Bring your feet to the floor. Pretend you have that strap on the lower ankle. Push your feet out away from each other into that strap. And pretend you have the block under your knee and hug the knee. We could have done that. And slowly lift the hips up into bridge pose. Take your tailbone towards your inner knee. Draw your belly in and up. Just a counter pose to some of the things we've been doing. Push your feet into the floor. And remember, the strap is pushing your ankles out. Your knees are pushing in, right? Good. And then exhale and slowly release. Good. So come up to sitting. Roll over onto your side, come up to sitting. And we're going to take this leg, this right leg, we're going to bend it, and we're going to see that we're in external rotation. And you can just give it a little help. You can externally rotate it with your hands, externally rotate the muscle. Good. And then you're going to take that leg and put it on top of your ankle. And you've already externally rotated the leg. And then you're going to lean back and you're going to bend this leg. So it's four pose. If you cannot do this for some reason, you can do it on the chair, you can do it against a wall. Push through the ball of the foot and the heel. I want you to go up to the top of that thigh, and I want you to just keep externally rotating it in your mind. And you're rotating the thigh. So it's going this way. The inner thigh is going to the outer thigh. The inner thigh is going to the outer thigh, right? Your foot is flexed, really to protect your ankle and your knee, right? That's why you're doing it. Push your knee up into your ankle and your ankle down into your knee. Now, you're going to try to take your knee towards your left shoulder. So you see how it's coming towards my left shoulder? And then you're going to take it away from your left shoulder. And then you're going to take it towards your left shoulder and away. So it's your right knee, your top knee. You're trying to get it up and to squeeze your left shoulder and then draw it back. If you can do a one-handed pose and you can add resistance in there, it makes it much more effective. If you cannot do this, don't worry about it. Just go up and down one more or two more times. Good. And then release. And bring the left leg up. So focus on this first. Actually, just let it go out to the side and focus on this external rotation. I'm mentally and physically encouraging my thigh to rotate. The action comes from this upper femur. And then I take the leg over, push through the ball of the foot and the heel, lean back if it feels comfortable for you to do so, and start to slide the leg up so that you're bending. Ooh, glute is tight, right? So get into your brain here, get into that thigh and think external rotation at the upper thigh. The inner groin is coming to the outer groin. You got to talk to it, be nice to it, coax it along, be nice to your body, right? The body heals better when you send love and compassion to it. If you're always saying, you know, stupid knee, or I think it's so interesting that the things that we all say about our body, that people say about their body, and you know, it's really just why are we putting those thoughts out there? You know, I'm getting old. Why are we saying that? You know, say I'm getting younger every day, because that's the way you should be. You should be getting younger every day. So much interesting things out there. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other things that people have said to me recently, and I'm always telling them, don't say that, don't say that. Oh, my body's failing me. People say that, you know, it's letting me down. Maybe it's the opposite. Okay, so knee up into the ankle, ankle up into the knee, push through the ball of the foot and the heel. Everybody feeling that? Okay, and then slowly release. Okay, come on up to sitting on your chair. Everybody loves to sit on a chair, right? It's kind of funny because sometimes the chairs kind of scare people. Okay, so then we have our big blanket roll. So I hope at home you caught that. You need a roll sort of bigger than that, okay? So you can take, you know, even a pillow and then put a blanket around it. Just make a big, or if you want to use your bolster, you can use your bolster. And I apologize to maybe you ate a really big dinner. This may not feel so good. You're gonna put that roll right up against your stomach and in that inner crease. So we understand, right, that when we are doing a forward bend, or you know, so many of our poses, that these muscles in here, the psoas muscle, the hip flexor, has to go back in here like that. So it has to go towards the buttocks. Okay, now the belly has to come in and up. So we've got this here. We're going to scoop our belly up. We're going to try to get our ribs up over this big bolster blanket, and we're going to come over here. Now, keep your breastbone up to start and just kind of hang out. You can even put your elbows in your bolster if you want and get that. So like I said, this won't feel good if you ate a huge supper. And then eventually what you're going to do is you're going to keep your tailbone down, keep your butt on the seat, and you're going to roll over that bolster and bring your hands down towards the floor. Now, it depends how tall you are and how flexible. You might be able to touch your ankles or your feet, or even grab the edges of the chair if you want. It doesn't happen for me because I'm too short. But there's you going. This is where you're going. Okay, and then slowly come back up. Oh, I forgot to tell you to breathe into your lower back. Let's do it one more time. Okay, I knew there was something I was forgetting. Come up and over. So get really tall. You're trying to bring everything up and over that shirt. I was looking at Teresa's shirt because it's almost the same color as mine. And then here you go, come over. Now this time, I want you to breathe into your lower back. So as you breathe, as you exhale, your stomach comes away from the bolster, right? And as you inhale, it comes towards the bolster. Think about your back moving. Release tension in the lower back as you go. Good. And then slowly come back up to sitting. Good. Take your one blanket away. And I'm actually even going to say that you probably just want to take maybe one little roll here. Okay, so I'm kind of doing that. And I'm going to stick this in here again. Again, I want my belly to come up and over. So remember, always lifting from the pubic bone to the belly button. We're lifting the rib cage up. We're going to come over this support. And again, it's not going to feel good if you ate too much for supper. You're going to come over, trying to get your rib cage to touch your thighs. Now, this is the interesting part. We're going to lift our butt off the chair. You're going to try to keep your blanket hugging that blanket, and keep lifting the abdomen up and over it, and then let your head drop towards the floor and try to straighten your legs. As you straighten your legs, don't lose the blanket. It's that connection of the abdomen and the thighs that you want. It's that lifting of the abdomen that we're looking for. Does everybody blanket stay in there? Yeah, good. All right. And then come halfway up and all the way up to standing. Okay, good. Put your blanket aside. Now, sit on the chair. No, by the way, I like on these chairs actually to sit on one blanket because they're tilted backwards, right? So if you sit on a blanket, you're actually going to be, but fold it in half so that you actually have a little bit of action there. Okay, take your hands to the back of the chair. I'm going through my hoops here, and I'm going to touch the back of the chair. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift the breastbone up, get really nice and tall. So there's a tendency to stick the rib cage out. So I'm trying to stick my breastbone up, but actually just sticking the rib cage up. So bring the rib cage in, push your sit bones down, get tall, lift the breastbone up. Good. Exhale, release. Take your right leg, bring it on top, just like we did in the other pose, lying down. Feel like we might need some rubber ball action in here, but we'll see. Let's see how it goes. So pretend you have the roll here, okay? You're gonna come up and over. So activate the belly, come up and come over that front leg. And if you want to, you could grab the chair here. You could grab out in front to get that length. But you want to try to make that connection of the abdomen and the thighs. Abdomen and thighs. Belly in and up, abdomen and thighs squeezing together. Reaching and lengthening through the body. And then exhale and slowly release. Okay, take that leg down, bring the other leg up. Woo, right? You have this roll here. You're gonna lift up, you're gonna come over that roll. The belly's gonna come back, right? No, okay, watch me for 1 second. Don't start this way. Start from down here. This lifts, this lengthens, this is coming forward. I'm not gonna bring this upper body until the very end. I do not start here. I wanna start here, lengthening, and then finally, when I get this, squeeze abdomen and thigh, and then I take my upper body down. Keep flexing your foot so that you protect the knee here of the standing leg. Woo. Okay, and then inhale and come on up. Yes, okay. Now, you're gonna take your blocks. Oh, where are they? And you're going to put them on the left side of your body, of your feet, sorry, not just of your body. And you're gonna take your strap, and you just need a small loop in your strap. Okay, so I'm gonna put the strap on my right foot. And I'm gonna take that, just a minute. Don't worry about this for a second. Sorry, let's do the opposite. Let's take the strap on the left foot, then I'm gonna take my right foot, I'm gonna bring my leg around, and then, yeah, and then I'm gonna bring the left foot. So anyways, this is what it's gonna look like in the end. Maybe that was too complex, making it harder than it is. You're gonna cross your legs with your right leg on top and your strap around the ankles. Okay. If it works out, you could push your foot into your block like this. You see, I have my right foot on a block. Once I get this, now I'm pushing away out this way with my ankles. Did everybody got that? I'm squeezing. Did everybody know what pose we're doing? Right, eagle pose. Thank you. And squeeze the inner thighs together. Sit up right, nice and tall. Inhale, lift up. Okay, can you push against your strap? So, you know, you have to kind of decide how much space you need here, but you want this to be taut, T-A-U-T. I always say taunt. And then on Wednesday, they always tell me that's not how you say it. Okay, so we're coming forward. We got that roll in there. We're coming up and over. We're trying to bring our rib cage up over the right. And we're gonna come down, come down, come down. Keep squeezing the inner thighs together, but the strap apart. And then inhale and come on up. Okay, now, keeping this action, take your right hand behind you, your left hand to your knee. So your left hand is going on the outside of your right knee. We're doing a rotation here. And we're gonna, again, sit up very nice and tall. Pretend that you are, you know, royalty or whatever. And then slowly rotate to the right. Push your foot down into your block, your right foot down into the block. Squeeze the legs together. If your shoulder is up too high, then you might have to push your hand down deeper into the chair. Like, don't have it up here. You want the shoulder to go down. The right shoulder goes into the body and down towards the floor. Okay, and then slowly release. Now you've got to change legs. So I find, okay, so what I was trying to say before, I was making it kind of complex, but if you put the strap around your right ankle now, take your blocks to the right side. And then when you cross your leg over, you can stick it into the strap here. And then see, can you get your foot on your block somehow? Some of your foot. I also have to move my calf out of the way in this pose, okay? Sit up nice and tall when you get there. So you're crossing your legs at the thighs up here, as close as up as you can. So we're gonna do the standing up next and you'll appreciate that, right? So you're gonna squeeze out your legs outward. So you're trying to make the strap very tight. And then you're gonna inhale and lift your arms up over your head. Get really nice and tall. Squeeze your inner groins together. Exhale. So again, you've got that roll. Come up and over the roll. Don't start with your head, start with your lower body. Get that connection. Reach out, reach out, reach out. Squeeze abdomen and thighs. Squeeze. Keep pushing the legs away from each other. Inhale, come on back. And exhale, arms down. Take your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Take your left hand behind you. Sit up really nice and tall again if you've lost that length in the spine. And rotate just from the rib cage. Your hips do not lie. No, that's the song. Your hips do not rotate. They stay stuck. Keep your right hip rounded. Don't lift it up just because you're going in that direction to the left. And then exhale and come on back. All right, come on out. Before we do full pose, let's do our arms because of course this is a twofer. You get the arms and the legs. Take your arms out. Exhale, and we're gonna take the right arm over the left. I'm gonna bend the elbows. Okay, so I've been teaching this little bird on the top and holding the hand down, which is really good for flossing the shoulder. But you can also do palm up. That I taught that a couple of weeks ago. That works. Or if you just want to do traditional, then the arms just come together. So I'm giving you that option. Spread your shoulder blades away from each other and draw your elbows away from your body. So you feel more. Does everybody feel the rhomboids in between? That's the shoulder blade from the spine to the shoulder blade. Do you feel that? Stretching, widening, broadening. Maybe you feel traps as well. That's up here, right? On the upper area. Okay, so now exhale and roll the upper body. This is just upper body roll. So we're not abdomen and thigh, we're just rolling the upper body. Spread the shoulder blades. Just move a little bit from left to the right side. And then inhale and come back up. And then you want to take your hands to the left. So that's where, if you were doing the bird one, you'd be doing to the left. And then bring it back to center. And then exhale and release. Does your left and your right side feel different? Mine does. Okay, arms out. Left arm over right. Squeeze. Well, it's like you're not squeezing, you're pulling your shoulder blades away. Like I'm going into my back and I'm saying, okay, shoulder blades, get away from that spine. Get some length in there. When you contract the arms by drawing one arm and one up and one down, you'll get more action in that. And then slowly roll the upper body. And as you roll, again, feel those shoulder blades. Maybe you're feeling also deltoid or side of the arm, you know? There's so much here could be going on. Inhale, come on back up. And again, it would be your right arm, you'd be going to the right if you're trying to bring your hand away from your body. It's to the right, it's the way your bird beak is going. Come back. Take the elbows away from your body. Give more space to that place between your shoulder blade and your spine, and then exhale and release. Okay, so we get to well, I'm going to call it a cheat, but we get to use a wall. So we're going to come to the wall to do our standing eagle pose. Now, it's good to sort of just wake up the thighs a little bit first. And anybody who has a knee issue of any sort should grab their block, okay? Let's do this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our upper body against the wall. We're going to walk out from your wall so that you're doing bridge pose kind of in the feet. That's where we started this today. And you can put your block in between. And what you're trying to do is get your thighs parallel to the floor. Okay, you're trying to get your thighs parallel to the floor. So you're sitting down quite low. This is a challenge, okay? And so you might have to walk your feet out because you want knees and ankles to be in alignment. You're going to squeeze your block. You're going to hold this engagement of the legs for a little while until they start screaming, right? So you can feel, okay, yes, my quads are calling me. Strong legs are so important. In our practice and everyday life, it's really what makes our spine mobile, is the ability to keep the strength in these legs, which is why a lot of people get back issues as they get older, because they lose the strength in their legs. Okay, so we're squeezing, we're sitting, and then somebody call uncle because my legs are burning. Okay, come on up. All right, so that woke those quads up, right? Okay, so now just watch me for a second. I hope you guys at home, am I like a little spot too far away from you now? Here, I'm going to bring you closer to me. Okay, there we go. That's probably way better. Okay, so you're leaning against the wall. Okay, I'm on a fridge here, but just watch me for 1 second. That you want to cross your legs, but you want to cross them up at the thighs. So you're better off to do kind of like a fast thing. You bring the leg up and over like this. Okay. Woo. Okay. And then you're same as when you were sitting on the chair. You're squeezing the inner thighs together. You could put a block here if you wanted to for your foot, if you're worried about balance. You can also hang onto your chair. Okay, so that's a good way to balance if you want to do that. And it's not a stand up, it's actually a little sit down. You're actually doing a bit of a squat in this pose, right? So you're going to squat down, you're going to squeeze everything. You can put your foot on here for balance if you want. Then you're going to bring the arm, whatever leg is on top, you're going to do the top arm and you're going to come into here. And then you're going to try to move away from the wall. If you want to move away from the wall here first and then do the arms, that works as well. Don't do that. Don't fall over. Okay. So get your legs first, then see about the arms. So, you know, there's this actually not a yoga pose, but you see it all the time being done, where we actually come down over the legs. This is not actually one of the traditional yoga poses. It's something that somebody made up after. The pose is actually meant to be that your elbows would be up here and you're not really scrunched over. So try both. And then you want to try to balance on that one foot. You want to try to balance on that one foot. Try not to fall over. And then come on out of the pose. Eagle pose, Gardendasana. So, like I said, a twofer, right? Okay, how did that go for everyone? Not good. All right, that's all right. You know, the other thing you can try if it didn't really go good is to try to do it on the chair and then stand up from the chair. So you go here and then you stand up from the chair. That's another option for anybody. That if you want to try that. I don't know if it's easier or harder, to tell you the truth. Okay, let's do the other side. So swing that leg up high. So all those lunges and things that we do, right? Downward dogs, where we use the legs to come forward from downward dog to lunge. This is what it's for. Okay, and then see, maybe you need a block for your foot. Maybe that'll help you keep your balance. Or 2 blocks, you know, you can go as high as you want. Squeeze the inner thighs. It's going to be left arm over right for your arms. Okay. And then you want to try to come away from the wall. Agnieszka, very good. Oh my gosh. I don't want to. Yeah, that's amazing. What is keeping your foundation? Good. Exhale and release. There's 2 things that have to happen here. What are they? Because you did so well. Do you know what kept you there? Strong feet. Yes, the standing foot has to be pushing in. The arch has to be activated. And what else do you think? Squeezing the inner thighs. And I'm going to add a third on there. Core engagement, right? So we're going to do it again, first side. Can't just do it one time, right? And this time I really want you to think about that up and over your bolster as you come into the pose. This has to be engaged, okay? This is what we did on last week. Okay, so start. Bring your right leg up and over. Technically, you're supposed to be able to take this foot and bring your foot into the calf. And then not only do the inner thighs squish together, but the calf and the foot are making some music. They're making some harmony. And then you take the arms up and over. Stay at the wall if you didn't do that well the first time. You know, keep your butt against the wall. And then, here we go. Engage your core, strong foot. Yeah, you can try coming over the little bit, you know, that's the not yoga pose, and then try coming back up again. Maybe you like the low version better. Maybe that's why people invented it, right? Because it feels better. Good, and then exhale and release. Okay. So when we bring this leg up and over, you're actually taking this hip this way around. You're getting this to go. So this is actually good for the SI joint. Okay, that's why it's in the curriculum for that. Okay, so now we have to do the other side, right? Take the leg up and over. Maybe I'll use my hand this time. See, I can manipulate, I gotta manipulate my calf out of the way. I can kind of get my foot behind. Okay, now I'm gonna go left over right. Woo. Take my butt away from the wall. Whoa. If my ankle and my foot aren't active, then I'm gonna be wibbly wobbly. Yeah, squeeze those inner thighs. Squeeze the abdomen. And exhale and release. Okay, you guys all did better than me that time. Are you feeling like a little fatigue in the legs too? Okay. All right. Let's take a wide stance on our yoga mat. See what I'm forgetting here. Yes, yes, yes. I did that. I did that. Okay. So wide stance. And we're going to go into warrior 1. No, 2. I'm going to go into warrior 2. Okay. So have your blocks nearby if you need them. Take a wide stance. Oh, now these guys are going, Susanne, all I can see is your your thighs. I can't see your whole body. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. Wide stance. This is the widest pose of all poses, right? Warrior 2. So I want as much space. When you lift your arms up, your ankles should be under your wrists. And I know from my yoga mat, I've missed that quite a few times. Okay, inhale, lift up. Now, everything's in a block of ice here. We're just going to rotate our front foot so that this leg externally rotates. Remember that external rotation? You can even like massage it over so you get that thought of I'm externally rotating that leg. Where's your kneecap? It's directly up, right? If your kneecap's not directly up, what will happen is your leg will go in and your butt will come out. Okay? So find that first and activate your right butt cheek. Bring it in towards the front of your body. Lift your pubic bone up and your tailbone down. And take this right thigh and push it back. So you're trying to split your pelvis in two in a way. Now you're going to slowly bend your front knee towards the little toe side of your foot without letting your butt come out here. You got to keep that tailbone drawing down and in. Oh my gosh, and we did all that work on the inner legs. Do you guys feel it? Feel this inner thigh calling to you, right? Okay, so now there's this tendency to lean, but lean back the other way. Pretend your left hand, somebody's pulling it. Somebody's pulling your left hand away. Draw the belly in and up. Draw your pubic bone up. Activate the butt cheek in the front leg especially. Sit down with the hip. Try to get that leg parallel to the floor. And then inhale and come back up. Push your feet into the floor. Isometrically draw them together. Turn the foot together. Step and come back into Tadasana. And it's like a huge relief, right? When you bring your legs back together, it's like, whoa, I feel that in my inner groins. Wide stance. You can jump out if you're feeling energetic. Mr. Iyengar, I mean, I don't jump a lot because I've in the past I've had ankle and knee issues, not so much anymore. But he liked people to jump out because he said they'd actually go further when you jump, unless you're scared, I guess, then you wouldn't. But that's why he liked the jump. All right, so before you even go anywhere, this is where you examine what's going on in the pelvis. Pubic bones are going away from each other. Tailbone is drawing down. Pubic bone is drawing up. Do you already feel it? Like it's already working? Everything's working, right? Okay, feet are active. So, you know, I'm again, like, this is so funny that every time I start I stop doing what I have to do for my feet. Then I get a client who's got like major foot issues, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got to keep strengthening my foot. We've got to lift these arches because we have to strengthen the bottom of the foot. Okay, rotate your left foot without trying to move the rest of your body. Harder for me on this side, right? Tailbone down, pubic bone up. Inhale, lift your arms out. Find balance. Don't change anything in your body, just bend the front knee. Okay. Oops, did I remember to tell you to glute? This glute has to work. Push the glute in. Now bend your front knee and find where the thigh is parallel to the front. I'm lucky I've got a little picture of myself here so I can see, how far I am, right? But you can look down and say, how far is my hip and my knee? Oh, the inner groin is talking to me. You too? And then come on up, push with your front foot. Turn the foot in, isometrically draw your legs together and step together. The reason we do that is we want to use the legs to come up, not the, and that is, again, is that a huge relief? It's a huge relief to bring your legs together. Okay, we're going to do it again. Right side. So if you feel like having fun, do a little jump. And then pivot the front foot, the right foot this time. Can you go any wider with your feet than you could last time? Now remember, the back foot is parallel to the back of your yoga mat. The toes should not be pointing backwards. Okay, you got to be, the whole side of the foot is parallel. Tailbone down, pubic bone up. Inhale, lift your arms up over your head. Without changing anything, bend. Oh, sorry, stop, come back. I want you to engage your core this time. So engage the core. Engage the core. So from pubic bone to belly button, drawstring and a tight pair of jeans, and then bend your front knee. Bend your front knee. Tailbone stays down. Buttocks keeps working. Bring that buttock in. Externally rotate that front leg from the femur bone. Do you all feel it? See if you can sit down a little bit more. Keep engaging the core. Now, take your right elbow to your right knee and inhale and lift your arm like a windmill up and over. If you have shoulder issues, you can go this way. You can windmill down. Okay, and reach out through the fingers. Oh my gosh. If your chest is towards the floor, lift it up, lift your chest up, and try to bring your belly button towards the ceiling instead. This is not a forward bend. Isometrically draw your feet together. Inhale and come on up. Step your feet together. Such a relief. So nice, right? All right, wide stance. Again, can you go a little wider than before? If your feet are too narrow, you're not going to get that inner thigh stretch, or even the hamstring is not going to be working when you go. If your legs are too wide, you're going to feel too much pressure in the hips. Okay, so that's how you can tell where you are. Pivot the left foot. Stay in your block of ice. Lift the arms up. Lift your breastbone up. We created all this space. Engage the core. It's like a Slurpee. And then bend your front knee. That's the only thing that moves. So you're not leaning forward. And it's more the backhand that actually, right? Can you sink down in the pose? Now you've got to be able to keep the four corners of the feet, and you've got to keep that back foot as if it's pushing into an imaginary wall. So the center of gravity stays in the pelvis. But you should feel this inner thigh. Now, I didn't say this last time, but if you take that IT band that we were stretching and draw it in towards the front of the groin, you're going to get more of a stretch, and maybe you can even go deeper. See? IT band, pushes in and opens up the groin. It's the antagonist muscle. Inhale, lift up, draw your, oh, sorry, don't lift up. Bring your elbow to your knee and come on over. Get that side stretch, you know, it's all through, from the foot, all up the side of the body, through the armpit, through the fingers. Draw your belly in and up. Good, and then come on out. Well, that brought some heat to your body, didn't it? And come up into Tadasana. We want to now, don't you want to do a forward bend? For sure you do, right? Take a wide stance again. Let's do a wide leg forward bend. Push your thighs back. Think of this crease in here deepening. That's what I was saying at the beginning, the psoas draws back. Isometrically draw your feet away from each other. Come forward with a nice straight back. So you're not rounding it, this variation so far. Now see if your hips are behind your heels. Are your hips behind your heels? I'm gonna say most of us, our hips are behind our heels. So that's like, you know, if your butt's way back here, you got to draw the butt forward. Walk your hands even out in front if you need to. Use your blocks if you need to. Excuse me for 1 second, people at home. I'm just gonna, you stay in that wide leg forward bend. And what's happening? Lift your kneecaps, draw your thighs back. Okay. What is the most important part of this pose? Come on up for 1 second. The most important part of this pose, I'm going to answer my own question, is the feet. Okay. You can really do yourself an injustice if you are pronating. I'm exaggerating here, but your feet are going in. Also, if you push it through the ankles too much and you're supinating, then you're going to overstretch the outer ankle. Then you're going to be walking outside and we go bloop, like that. You know, we don't want that. So come back into the pose with me and find the four corners and really lift your toes up. That's what we'll do. We'll lift our toes up so we feel that. You see, we have this tendency, again, in this world, hips forward, right? So we're more on our toes. That's why we have such an epidemic of plantar fasciitis, right? Because we're gripping the toes. And then it just hardens my heart, or no, that's not what I mean. It hardens not the right way. It makes me so sad when I see, especially older people wearing slides, flip-flops, you know, any of those dysfunctional shoes that kill your feet, right? And then they have like awful things going on in their feet. It's just terrible. So, you know, that's because of gripping the toes. So you don't want to grip your toes at any time, and especially not in your yoga practice. So the arch has to be strong. You have to push through the balls of the feet. Kind of got off topic there, sorry. Drifted off. Okay, and then you're gonna hinge at the hips and come forward, keeping the nice strong leg, keeping your toes up, lifting the kneecaps. Is it, and see if it's different for you, right? Don't let your toes fall down. Keep your toes up. Yeah, and Kevin, move more forward. You're too far back onto your heels. You're too far. So, you know, I have a tendency for the thighs to come forward. And in this pose, the thighs have to come back. The inner groins have to lift, right? Pretend you're on a big horse and you've got to push your feet out. Lift your sit bones up nice and high. Engage your abdomen. Try to get your abdomen down on your thighs. So now you might start to round the upper back to get your abdomen on your thighs. And you're going to squeeze the two of them together, right? Squeeze your abdomen and your thighs together. Good. And then isometrically draw your feet together and come on back up to standing. And let's just take our feet together just for that little bit of a rest. Okay, the next thing I want you to do is take your blocks out in front. You're not going to take your feet so wide this time. Maybe just like, you know, if I normally take my feet out here, bring them in about 6 inches each. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to find this pose, and then we're going to slide our blocks forward. Slide our blocks forward and forward and forward. So we're almost like in a downward dog. Go slow. Okay? Because I want you to now look forward. Bring your breastbone forward. Beautiful, Diana. Bring your breastbone forward. Yeah, now, Diana, bring your head down. Yeah, and keep lengthening, keep your feet grounded, keep your heels grounded, take your thighs back. See if you can get more length in the side body. Okay, good. Now, come on back, bring your blocks back. Leave one block there. You're gonna take your left block and bring it to your right foot. The hips don't move with you though. The left hip has to stay back in line with the right hip. You're just moving that body, you're twisting. Maybe take your left hand to your right ankle, bring your right hand to your right hip. Bring your head back into the midline, so away from that leg. And then draw your left shoulder in and your right shoulder up or back so that you're in a little bit of a twist. Good. And then come on back, take your block back to the center, lengthen. Take your right hand and slide your block to the left foot. Keep your right hip back. Maybe this is where you go. Maybe this is where you stay. Who knows, right? It all depends on what your body is telling you right now. Maybe you grab your right hand to your right ankle. Pull your head back towards the midline. So there's quite a bit of a grip on my ankle now, and it's pulling my right shoulder blade. Left hand on the left hip, and then rotate up. And then exhale and release and come back up to standing. Whew. Oh my gosh, I hate how the time goes so fast. Okay, now come down onto your seat, onto your chair again. You're going to take a big loop in your strap, okay? Big loop. For some of you, it'll probably be the whole strap. You might even, some people this morning had to do that, okay? Last time I taught this. So to get more height. And you're gonna put this around your sacrum. So this goes around the back, right here, onto your lower back. And this goes around my foot. Now I need my blocks handy because my other foot, and you can make this as tall as you want, is going to go here. So I've got my right leg in my contraption here. This is pulling my sacrum, my lower back forward. And it, again, look at it's tight, so that's where I got it, right? So if you're taller than me, you might have to use this loop, so you have to kind of weed it through a bit. So right foot and the left foot is on the blocks. You know, you could go up really high here with your block. I mean, you could go super high. You could use even 3 blocks if you wanted. So you have this, you know, at home you guys can use books or whatever you have. So this strap around my, now Teresa, it has to be one loop because you're going to ruin the flow. Okay, so then what you need to do is, you know where the loop is here? Just take it through the strap so that now you're going to have more length. You see, you're only going to have a little tail like that on your strap, those of you who are taller. Unless you have a 10-foot strap, and then you're good to go, right? It was a good investment. I do have I think I still have a few 10-foot straps at home. If anybody wants to buy one. Sometimes it's worth it, right? Okay. I don't think we've ever done this one before, have we? Something new, and every time I do something new, I always think of Penny because she always writes me a note after. Oh, you did something new today. I really like that. Okay, so here we go. Now you see how your back, you cannot do this with this, well, you can, I just did it, but it's educating you to bring your spine forward and away, right? So sit on your chair, push this foot down into your block and sit up nice and tall. Like, you know, we want to be here, you're not here. So no curve in the spine. All right, now take your left hand behind you, your right hand to your knee. This is, I'm going to say this wrong, mariachi pose, mariachasana pose, something like that. Okay, and you're going to rotate to the left, pushing through this foot all the time. Dinah, foot on the floor if you can, or is it too? Yeah, foot on the floor. Push your heel forward. Push through the ball of the foot and the heel. Toes should be facing your head. This is a point flex. Toes are pointing towards your head. Now you rotate. And then exhale and release. Now don't come out yet, because this is when we do this pose sitting down, this is what it looks like, legs up here, right? We're gonna do this here. So take your left elbow into the left knee, push those two together, sit up nice and tall again, right arm comes behind, and you're gonna do what we call this like a turnout. You can even use the outside of your chair handle here if you wanna get more. It's a turnout. It's not really a rotation, but it's part of that pose, because in the full pose, you're down on the floor and you're grabbing here, your foot, and then you rotate and you look up. Good, and then exhale and release. All right, change legs. I know it's almost Shavasana time. Ankle, knee in alignment. Left foot now comes through the strap. Some of your legs were suspended up here. The heel has to be on the floor. And you're pushing the strap forward, okay? And it should be tight enough, like I said, so that you feel like you can't roll back with your pelvis. Get really nice and tall. See this foot down here? Those toes are coming towards my head. This foot is pushing down. Heel is grounded and it's pushing forward. Okay, so now I take my right hand behind. Make sure you're sitting up as tall as you possibly can. This time, inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale, and then rotate to the right. You're going over the bent knee this time. So it is a twist. And then come back to center. And we're going to do the opposite. Right elbow comes into the right knee. In this pose, you're actually rounding the back a little bit. Very important that the core is engaged. Okay, so draw the belly in and up. And then you can grab the edge of the chair or whatever you want to do to give yourself some leverage, and you are rotating away from the knee. Elbow and knee are strongly pushing into each other. That's why, and don't let your knee come out to the right there. It's not external rotation of the leg, it's straight up. Yeah, there you go. Push that foot into the floor, into your blocks. Good, and then exhale and release. Fun while? Okay. But your body feels different. If your body doesn't feel different after today's class, then we need to work harder. Okay, so come down to the floor. We're gonna do one very last pose and then Shavasana. And I know I'm running out of time, but it's okay. We'll figure it out. So I wanna do that twist, lying down twist, where we must move our hips a little bit to the right. So you lift your hips up plop them over to the right. Bring your knees up towards your chest. Squeeze the knees together, really nice and hard. Pretend you've got crazy glue. You're all stuck together. Oh, don't be like that girl and use Gorilla Glue though. That was really bad. Okay. And then you're going to bring your knees over to the side. Now have your block ready, because if your knees won't come to the floor, you can rest them on your block, because you want to keep the knees together. So I'd look down and one knee sliding way behind the other. That's not the pose. You got to keep your knees together. Pretend you have a Smartie in between there. You got to keep it there. That used to be an old joke, but I can't even remember the joke. But anyways, okay, so here we go. Now, if your shoulders are coming way off the floor, take your arm down or up over your head so you don't hurt the shoulder. But try to get the shoulder blades down as much as you can. That's what you're working towards. You can take your left hand and put it on top of the right knee if that helps you. Does the belly go with the twist or against the twist? Anybody know? Against, that's right. So what hip now? The top hip, you got to take the belly to the top hip, not let it go to the bottom, to the floor where it wants to go. You got to lift it up and rotate it. Breathe. Okay. And then exhale, release. Bring your knees back up, put your feet down on the floor, realign your body first, then hop your hips to the left, lift your knees up towards the ceiling, or to your chest, sorry. And then you're going over to the other side. Again, have a block ready in case you're not going to make it all the way to the floor. Your shoulder blades should stay on the floor, right? They shouldn't be lifting up. If it hurts your shoulder, take your arm up over your head or down towards your feet so that you don't hurt that shoulder. Squeeze your legs together. Oh, see, I looked and I was not doing it properly because I let my legs go. Take that top hip and draw it away from your head. That's you know, in every yoga pose, no matter what we're doing, we don't want to shorten the side, because when we shorten the side, we squish our SI joints. That leads to back issues. And then when you're ready, roll out, bring your feet down and lengthen. And then just extend your legs before you come into official Shavasana. Just lengthen your legs. See how you feel. We used a lot of muscles today. And then you're ready for Shavasana. So maybe you're happy to stay where you are. Maybe you need a blankie, whatever. Maybe you need something soft underneath your head. You want the forehead to be slightly higher than the chin. I wanted to, just while you're getting settled, I'm reading this very excellent book. And I just want to read you a little something here. It's a very short paragraph about we do not change until we're ready. This is an interesting theme that I have with a lot of my clients. I ask them to do one simple thing and they can't do it. And it really comes back to the point that you have to be ready to make change. So this is what she's saying. We do not change until we're ready. Sometimes it's a tough circumstance, perhaps a divorce, accident, illness, or death that forces us to face up to what isn't working and try something else. Sometimes our inner pain or unfilled longing gets so loud and insistent that we can't ignore it another minute. But readiness doesn't come from the outside. It can't be rushed or forced. You're ready when you're ready. When something inside shifts and you decide, until now I did that, now I'm going to do something else. It's like, if it's that whole saying, if you do the same thing and expect different results, I think that's the definition of insanity, actually. Change is about interrupting the habits and patterns that no longer serve us. If you want to meaningfully alter your life, You don't simply abandon a dysfunctional habit or belief, you replace it with a healthy one. This is what we're trying to do in yoga. We're trying to replace the things that we do automatically with something better. You choose what you're moving towards. You find an arrow and follow it. As you begin your journey, it's important to reflect not only on what you'd like to be free from, but on what you want to be free to do or become. Finally, when you change your life, it isn't to become the new you, it's to become the real you. This is the essence of yoga right here, but she's not talking about yoga at all. The one of a kind diamond that will never exist again and can never be replaced. That's what you are. Everything that's happened to you, all the choices you made until now, all the ways you've tried to cope, it all matters. It's all useful. You don't have to throw everything out and start from scratch. Whatever you've done, it's brought you this far to this moment. The ultimate key to freedom is to keep becoming who you truly are. That's what we're trying to do in yoga, to become who we truly are, the fabulous person that we are. And now it's really about the non-doing. It's about no effort. And for a lot of people, no effort is way, way harder than effort. We're always able to, we have strive for things and try really hard. But can you let it all go at the end? At the end of the day, you used to talk about people who always bring their work home with them. You don't hear about it that much anymore because work is at home. But that's what you're trying to do. Just let everything that happened in this class go. Doesn't matter if you did eagle or not, or your balance was good or not. Now it's about just your body. Staying present in this moment. Focusing on your breath, the sensations in your body. The weight of your body and the lightness all happens at the same time. Bring your awareness back to your breath. And wiggle your fingers and your toes. I'm sorry for such a short Shavasana. And then stretch your arms up over your head. Those of you at home, of course, you guys can just stay in Shavasana for longer. Point your toes and flex your feet. And bring your hands down with a great big sigh. Bring your knees up towards your chest when you're ready. Rock from side to side. Excuse me. I was going to sneeze. But that's a no-no. And then roll over onto your right side. And then when you're ready, slowly, slowly come up to sitting. Bring your hands to your heart. Namaste. Have a great week. I posted a recipe article on relationships. It was part 2 of the sort of February theme, 7 ways to, it's a recap from a book, 7 ways to enhance your relationship with people. It can actually apply to anybody, even though it was sort of, you know, relationship people. And there was I think there was a video as well. Watch this week. I did a 2-part series with my colleague, Brian Smuck. We are talking about the effects of COVID on the physical body. And then the second part is on the immune system. I'll be sending those out this week through my constant contact. There's always some nugget that he gives, but this second, the immune system, they're both good. The physical one and the immune system, but you must watch. Anyways, I'll be sending them out this week, probably one on Wednesday and one on Friday or Saturday or something like that. So please watch them. You can check them out on YouTube actually, because they're public as well. If you want to jump the gun, it's Conversations with Susanne with Brian Smuck. Okay, thank you very much for coming. Namaste. Have good. Don't forget to put your mask. Please feel free to wash your hands. If you used anything of mine, just leave it on the floor, please, where you're at. And we will clean the chairs as well. Thank you, everyone at home, for tuning in.
Oh, thanks, Susanne. It was wonderful. That was a great session.
Good. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it, guys.
See you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday or see you next week. Thank you for coming. Oops.
Thank you, Suzanne. Bye-bye now.
Bye, Janet. I'm going to end the meeting.